Hello, this is Freedom by Creative Design, and this is your encouragement specialist, Tracy Lee Harrington. Happy Sunday to you all. Tonight we're going to be discussing fear. And the poem was inspired by a narrator called Vincent Price. I'm not too terribly fond of horror, usually, but I thought it would be an interesting way to kick off this podcast tonight. So we are going to get started, and this is an episode of Freedom by Creative Design. You have a destiny, and you're destined for greatness. So our first topic at hand is, the subject is fear. So there will be quotes from my favorite author, Mark Twain. And then there will be things in here about scary movies and how it pertains to our life. So anyway, welcome. All right. The first favorite old-time movie is by Vincent Price, of course. It's called House on Haunted Hill. Black and white. Second favorite movie is Wait Until Dark. It's a 1967 Audrey Hepburn movie. Those are favorites. Also, they're black and white, and I like them because you have to draw a picture with your mind. And also the fact that they depict being scary, but there's not a lot of gore and everything in them. Compared to the most modern ones on the internet that I've searched out, which I have a couple here. I know a lot of you are not a fan of this, but you'll see where I'm going in just a minute. One of them is Nightmare on Elm Street. Not too fond of that, but it's set more in modern time. It's more gore and everything else like that. And another most famous Halloween movie, 2017, Halloween by Joe Carpenter. Scream and Sleepy Hollow. Okay. You're probably wondering what this has to do with fear. Very simple. I'm going to set the stage for you. First of all, I'm going to take you to a famous author, Mark Twain. Super exciting. Okay. The first quote is, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." Mark Twain. Second quote, "Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear." And for those of you who are teachers and super scholars, so bear with me. Another famous quote by a famous person, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Franklin D. Roosevelt. So, in the mood of Halloween, I'm going to tie this all in. First starting with a famous old saying. Two of them, actually. Okay, I'm going to set the stage. Okay, you are in the future, and your friend has just bought this gorgeous glass house. It's from that saying, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So he bought this gorgeous glass house. So you and a friend decide to go out driving one night.
I am Dracula. I am Dracula.
Well, anyway, we're going to add the famous Dracula in there. But I mixed up a little bit. All the Dracula movies are the same. I'm not a fan of Dracula anyway, but to prove my point, you're out cruising around. You find some stones and you throw it at your friend's glass house. I don't think that'd be too smart. Okay. I don't think I would be doing that, but I really don't know who came up with these sayings anyway. Another famous old saying is you can get two birds with one stone. Supposedly, you had a kid or a child, and you say, hey, Junior, let's go out in the yard for a nice Halloween treat. Let's go find two birds and throw two stones at them. No, not exactly. You're probably wondering what this has to do with fear. I will be working that in. Unlike movies and things of that nature and sayings, fears are a very real part of our lives. And a lot of people wouldn't like to admit that they have fear. I mean, yes, there is fear, like beyond fear, paranoia, but this is different than that. I cannot promise you a life free of fear, but there is one that can give you that life free from fear. In my life, I suffer from fear, being very honest. My biggest fear is the fear of failure, number one. And my second fear is a fear of rejection. And my third fear is someday growing old and being alone. Like I said, the reason I'm sharing these things with you is we're all human and we all have fear. But there's hope. Like in my story, the reason I used clowns was because it's a perfect metaphor to describe to you what different fears and things that I've gone through in my lifetime. So, a lot of those clowns would laugh and stare back at me. But every day, I am conquering new fears. Not that I'm perfect, but the thing being is that we don't have to face our fears alone. We can trust in the one that made us. And also and ask for help, with conquering our fears and surrounding ourselves with good people. And my prayer is that you will find those good people. Well, anyway, on a lighter note, the most amazing thing that has happened to me this week was being able to volunteer with an event in our town. And it was just really amazing because it gave me an opportunity to be able to talk with other people and to come out of myself and to realize that there is a whole world of people out there that are just in need of encouragement, a smile, just basically a good attitude. So, this is Freedom by Creative Design, and you are destined for greatness. So, let's be the best seller in everyone's life. And also, on a silly note, a friend and I used to do a game of when you're down. It's called the laughing game. And you get a bunch of people together, or a couple of people, and you all start laughing, kind of like this. And it's contagious, really, because one person starts laughing, and then, another person starts laughing. Some studies say that laughter is a cure of depression. Lately, I've been doing some researching. You can be you can have an out form of happiness, but you could also be very depressed. But if you find yourself in that situation, I would encourage you to surround yourself with people that will help you. In some cases, laughter is the best medicine. So, like I said, I can't promise you a rose garden. I can't promise you a life without fear. But there is one that can give you perfect peace and can take away your spirit of fear and give you a sound, clear mind. So, I've also been doing some researching about old movies. Gomer Pyle, Mayberry, RFD, Andy Griffin. My favorite word is Shazam, which is a really old word, by the way. There's the Brady Bunch. And for those of you that have kids that remember, there's Mr. Rogers, my least fun favorite, even though I don't mind if you're my neighbor. Also, there is Chips. I guess this is really starting to show my age. But anyway, as you face a new week, remember that you do not have to face it alone. And if you do, I will pray that God will send you the right people. So, this has been an exciting podcast by Freedom by Creative Design, and you are destined for greatness. If you have any questions, comments, or anything else, or anything that you'd like me to air, you can text me at Freedom from My Storm, or you could visit me at Harrington Tracy 2.